Towards the end of his life, St. Ignatius was receiving Jesuits from around the world. They would come back to Rome and meet with him and fill him in on what was happening in the different parts of the world. And some of them he would know from years before, and some of them he wouldn't. And one of them, we've mentioned him before, Antonio Brandão, came from Portugal. And upon arriving in Rome and being presented to Ignatius, was absolutely charmed by with how much joy Ignatius received his particular traveling companions. And there were even in his aspect, but in the tears that flowed from his eyes, that extreme happiness that he showed in meeting these Jesuits who had come from far away to visit in Rome and to do the business that they needed to do there. The affection that was in Ignatius for other people is something that we often don't consider, because we think of him sometimes as a great administrator, perhaps as a very holy man with a somewhat austere spirituality. But in fact, his appreciation for people was very deep and very powerful. And it reminds me of how we need that at this particular time, when we're separated from each other, and perhaps only by Zoom can we maintain communication, or by telephone. And perhaps we need to make that added effort to be able to communicate the happiness that we feel for the people who are in our lives, because we're not able to be with them directly. And perhaps we can learn from this time of separation that in the future, upon meeting one another, with great joy we should meet one another, and great happiness. Perhaps not with tears, but that would not be inappropriate, I'm sure. But certainly with a huge welcome and a joy that lasts for many days as we're reunited with people. And even as we do that by Zoom or by telephone, we need to express the joy and the happiness that others bring to us. It's our way of breaking down the isolation forced on us by a pandemic. But it's also a way to bring to each of us a greater sense of happiness in what our lives offer to us now. And so if we can follow St. Ignatius' example and revel in the presence of other people, whether electronically or physically, we will do a great job in learning how to receive each other as the great gifts of God each of us is to one another. And that's the wisdom of St. Ignatius for today.